Alivinnan i australska staten Tasmania lujist av mengan hot alivinnen i förjon. Men heromframt parster av en i allsamt växande gourmetferavinno, her åt nu vin, ostur og ta søta òsni høyre oppoi. Norralia av Tasmania finner vi familjefyritøkuna 41 South, som fast vi aling og en heldur øðrvísi hot. Tala ner en luttla fyritøku, som hever alingina av landet, men fyritøkan avhuaverd til han hever funnet sønne halt ekno råk. Omframt sølu av littnare vörra, som för det mesta lydel, heilrøktur laksur, kommer en växande parster av inntøknon fra vitjande, som vil ha vust rundt, sjálvi sleppa at fåra fisken, og så gjerne vitja av matstrovne. Det Ben Paika som i det stendur fyrir rakstrun av fyritøkene, som papi hansara byrjaje.
Yeah, my father started the business. We used to have, you can see down there, the 2 feeding ponds, which are now purely for the tourists, but used to be our original farm. And then we've expanded from there to grow out in the concrete tanks and everything else. So when that got established in 2005, from there I've been here since then. So building up everything with my dad. So everything you see now, my dad and I have built.
41 South ligger mitt inne i landet nun, så i verleikan kommer fiskeren ongantu i samband vi sjekv. Men det gjør òsne at fiskeren vardur i møte sjuko og øron plavon.
We don't have a problem with diseases for a few factors. Number one, our stocking density is very low. It's about 20 kilos per cubic meter. Number two, a lot of the sea-run fish have saltwater specific diseases, and because they are in the ocean and they are in a net or in a pen, it makes the diseases really accessible to the fish because they're just there. If they have gill lice or something like that in fresh water, we can just put salt in the water and that will cure most of the freshwater diseases, not everything. But they are also not as susceptible because we don't have as many impacting factors around.
But basically you don't lose any fish or very little fish because of disease.
Our mortality rate due to disease would be in the single digit percents, 1% maybe, and that would be more so poor health, competition, that type of disease, not so much the actual, external diseases.
Vatnet vil tidje ur en i åa som renner i jøkken okna, her alifyritøkan heldur til. Og røynsingen av vatnet hender av en pura naturlian hot.
Okay, well, the cleaning the water works like this. I mean, you can see the fish farm, you can see the tanks up here. We have about all up, I think, 15 acres of land mass for the wetland and the farm. And what happens is the river water from above the waterfall comes into our property, which is clean. And then it goes through the tanks here where we grow the fish. The water, when it is dirty then from the fish waste, goes into the wetland and through a variety of filters, like natural biological filters. And then these wetlands clean the water by absorbing the biological mass, so the fish waste. They use that to grow. Because they grow from the waste, they only leave clean water that goes back into the river. So we don't use a drop of water. It all just gets diverted in and then back out. But when it goes out, it's cleaner than when it comes in. I mean, if you turn around here and have a look in this lake here, it looks like it's a whole heap of sort of swamp area. But this green stuff here is actually duckweed, colloquially known duckweed. I'm not sure of the scientific name. But it is a really, really high surface area filtration plant. So you can see in the water movement just over to the left, you see how tiny the little leaves are that come off each little chunk there. And what happens here, the water goes in here and all of this greenery absorbs all the waste and the nutrients. And it uses it to grow and then lets the water flow through, but cleaner. And so if you imagine this happening over a 2-week process, the water can get fairly clean.
Framlegslan littnare vörro en 20 ton som are. Heromframt røyja til øysne større fisk fyrir alarar. Men sambart Ben Paika det virus økingen av littne vørene som likelen til gongtena.
Because we are such a small business, all we do is value added. So we hot smoke the fish, and then that is how we differentiate ourselves from the other businesses. We are the smallest salmon farm, really, that there is. And the bigger farms do about 1,000 or more times more than what we do. Like the big farms in Tasmania do 10 to 15,000 ton a year, and we do 10, so it's not comparable. But because of that disparity in the volume, we don't sell fresh fish because we can't compete on price. But I think like if you go to the supermarkets or that sort of thing, you are looking at around about for fresh filleted salmon, anywhere between $20 and $30 a kilo, roughly here. Value-added products like cold smoked or hot smoked can vary between $40 to $80 a kilo, depending on who and how and what.
En så I Føroyum alaren av Tasmania bunden av støvuvari elveiting, og en så I Føroyum hever hetta veri en avbjøving som de hava funnet en løsning av.
We also use gravity feed for all of our water, everything. So you can see up the tanks here how they are higher and then they come down. And that is because all of the water is gravity fed. Here in Tasmania, where we are here, we are very dependent on obviously electricity, but it is not very reliable. So we can have anywhere between 10 to 20 power outages every year. And that can really impact if you are pumping. And when you are on such low water and you pump, if the water stops, you have a matter of hours before everything is dead. So if you get a power outage at 2 o'clock in the morning and you come here at 6 o'clock, every fish will be dead. So we've built it all on gravity, so the power can go out and it doesn't matter. We are built so that we can close off the wetland and we can recirculate all of the water. So we have pumps where we can recirculate. So if we had, for example, somebody had a chemical spill upriver, we can close off the river intake and we can recirculate the clean water from the wetland and just run off that for however long we want. The only thing we would have to account for is evaporation.
Hava Tasmania sera fjærskoten, sa ur einon føreskon sjónarhotne, så rundir I dei ikkje fyrste føringur som hevur vitjað tja 41 South. Av veggenon og I matstovne hongur et heimskort við nálun som vísa hvene de vitjandi komin. Henda dagen kom nál nummer 3 ur Føroyum av kortet.